Chapter 1 of Van Dyck. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Van Dyck by Percy M. Turner. The Early Days. Reader's Note: we shall proceed by using the descriptions of the author of the plates in the chapter, and then proceeding to the chapter. In the first chapter, the frontispiece, Charles I in the Louvre. Certainly the finest portrait of Charles I in existence. It shows Van Dyck in his most attractive aspect as a painter of the aristocracy, executed before the marked decline in his technical powers, which marred from an artistic standpoint the later pictures of his English period. It yet possesses the dignity and distinction he knew so well how to infuse in portraying the nobility of our country. It is one of the best examples of the artist's powers as a colorist, and as such will bear comparison with the production of the mighty Venetians. Plate 2. Charles Louis of Bavaria and his brother Robert, afterwards Duke of Cumberland, in the Louvre. As an example of direct portraiture, this picture would be hard to beat. It shows Van Dyck in one of his happiest moods, dealing with a subject which peculiarly appealed to him. Plate 3. Prince D'Arenberg, in Lord Spencer's collection, Althorp. A portrait characteristic of one of the most popular phases of Van Dyck's art. It exhibits in a remarkable measure his sense of appropriateness as far as the setting of a portrait is concerned. The background has been chosen largely with a view to accentuating the salient points of the picture, and whilst being in consequence strictly subservient to the portrait, is yet treated in a bold and vigorous manner. And now Chapter 1. The Early Days. No painter has remained more consistently in favor with both artists and public than Van Dyck. His art marks the highest achievement of Flanders of the 17th century. In making this statement, the claims of Rubens have not been overlooked, although the latter has been, and probably will always be, considered the head of the Flemish school. It is perhaps not too much to say that Van Dyck possessed in a greater measure than Rubens those qualities which go to make a great artist. We can never overlook the seniority of the latter, and to him will always belong the credit of having evolved the style which revolutionized the art of a nation, and there is no doubt that the pupil owed to him much of the knowledge he so well utilized in after life. In comparing those two great men, it would be well at first to rid ourselves of the confusion which often arises through the application of the terms artist and painter. In relation to painting, they are only too often considered synonymous, but a little consideration will show us that a man whose technical abilities are of a high order need not necessarily be a great artist. In fact,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?